Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So guys, when it comes down to these markets, when it comes down to this industry, I want you guys to have the same organic experience I had. So let me give you the guys, the educators I use. So Crypto Picasso and Curtis Cobain. Now, Crypto Picasso goes for a lot more, a lot more strategy, a lot more how to trade this on a more of an intraday perspective, how to actually catch pips in these markets. Now you got Curtis Cobain. You see, Curtis Cobain, he's actually one of my favorite educators in the whole platform. This guy is sick. Why? Because he's actually going to show you how you can multiply your cryptocurrency holdings very, very easily and very, very simply. And that's what we're going to also go through. Now, he's live on Wednesdays and Fridays at around 2-3 a.m. In the UK time. So his Wednesday sessions are a bit more basic, a bit more about how to actually get involved with crypto, how to set up your wallet, how to actually buy cryptocurrency. And in his Friday sessions, it gets more advanced into actually, okay, the real sorts, when to buy, when to sell. And obviously you guys know who Picasso is as well. So let's actually just get right into it. Now, a lot of people are still very confused about a cryptocurrency. They don't really understand what actually is a cryptocurrency. Well, let me share with you guys what it is. You see, a cryptocurrency, essentially, it is a piece of technology, of course. Now, what is the technology? The technology is something called blockchain. Now, what is blockchain? This is essentially a distributed ledger, which is enforced by a lot. Basically, imagine it like this, right? It's a series of blocks. And each time a block is created, there's going to be certain pieces of information that's stored within this block. Now, that's powerful because let's say, for example, this has so many other use cases apart from cryptocurrency. Let's just kind of take it on a little tangent for a second. Let's say medical records. Let's say we was out in Australia. If we're out in Australia and we get injured, God forbid, and we get injured, and let's say we need to go to the hospital. Now, in order for our doctor to get our medical records, he'd have to do what? He'd have to call up our doctor and say, yeah, well, Kieran Davis, what's his blood type, any allergic reactions, anything like that. That can take some time because the time difference is massive in Australia. 9 a.m. in Australia will be like 9 p.m. or midnight. I don't know time difference, but it'll be very late in the UK. So if our medical records are stored on something like blockchain, this is why it's so revolutionary. Because firstly, it will be stored there forever. You can't like forge it, you can't fake it. Plus, he can access that 24/7 whenever he needs to. Now, let's talk in terms of finance. In terms of finance, what makes cryptocurrency so powerful is this gives the people the power. Cryptocurrency gives you the power. What do I mean? Well, first things first, guys, let's take a quick little explore on Google. Let's look at inflation versus Bitcoin. You see, if you guys don't know what inflation is, well, how does money actually come about? Money, they need to go to the Federal Reserve and they print money. Now, this graph here, let me show you a better one. This is the difference between Bitcoin deflation and fiat inflation. Now, what do I mean? You see, fiat currency, guys, fiat currency, pounds and dollars. Look at this photo. This photo is even better. Let's say, back in 1988, £20, $20 would get you a whole grocery cart full of, snacks, drinks, etc. In 2005, $20 would get you about half of that. But in 2014, $20 can barely get you nothing. What's £20? £20, you can't really do anything with that. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, look what you can do with Bitcoin. You see, in 2012, one Bitcoin could probably get you a couple snacks, if that. One Bitcoin in 2013 could get you, okay, cool, maybe half a thing. One Bitcoin in 2020 can probably buy you the whole store, what it's about to do. Like, guys, what the price of Bitcoin in the next 5 to 10 to 50 years? Oh my God, it's going to be crazy. Now, by no means am I a financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor. Past profits do not guarantee any future results. So anything you do take from this call is at your own risk. If you do decide to invest, if you do decide to place any trades, that is at your own risk. I am not a financial advisor. So anyway, I want you guys to understand, why does Bitcoin experience this thing called inflation? Why is it so amazing? You see, fiat currency, they can just print loads and loads of currency. You see, let me take you guys on a little history lesson. Let me blow your guys' mind for a second. Let me tell you how banks come about. So I want you to imagine back in like BC, right? Or BC times. See, back in BC, there was no banks. You see, how did they used to do purchases? It was gold and silver transactions. If you had, a couple, let's say you had some camels, right in the desert. You have some camels. I'm going to give you some gold coins for your camel. Now, what happened back in the day is there was no security. There was no police. So let's say if I come up to, let's say Marwan, right? If I wanted Marwan's coins, I can take Marwan's coins because there's no law, right? There's nothing that can stop me from doing that. Now, what these big banks who had a lot of money decided to do is they decided to have these big vaults with big security guards. And they said, look, come and store your gold pieces nice and safely within our vault. We're going to secure it nice and safe. You can take it whenever you want. And in return, we're going to give you a receipt. All right, cool. Now, people say cryptocurrency forex is a scam. Yo, the banking system is a scam. Let me tell you why. I hope there's no bankers on this call. if I go missing the next week, you know why. But anyway, so what they did is this. They gave you a receipt, and the receipt says, I promise to pay the bearer a sum of £10, £20, £50, whatever it may be. Now, that's what money says. If you look at a £10 note, £20 note, that's exactly what it says on it. Now, check this. If you walk in, if you have your gold pieces, people was realizing that now the banks, sorry, let me start again. The banks realized that people was not exchanging the gold and silver coins. The banks realized that people were now trading the receipts. They were trading the paper receipts rather than the gold and silver. So the banks realized, wait a minute, if people are trading the receipts, why do I need to use gold? The banks are like, wait, if they're trading the receipts, why can't we just print more receipts? And if we can print more receipts, that means that we have unlimited money. And so they did. The bank started to produce more receipts. Oh no, Kieran, the US dollar, the pound is backed by gold. That's wrong. The pound is backed by nothing. The only reason the US dollar, the Great British pound has value is because you perceive it to have value. That is it. That is it. It is, they print more money every day. What's happening right now? The whole country is getting inflated. Because what's the Federal Reserve doing? What's the central banks doing? What they're doing is they're printing more and more money every single day for these stimulus checks. But they're printing trillions of dollars in the economy. They're inflating. And if you inflate a ball, what happens? If you keep putting air and 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 air in a ball, eventually it's going to pop. And that's the same thing with the economy. That's why we have recessions every 8 years to kind of reset it. Now, that's why Bitcoin is so powerful, because this is a hedge against inflation. People are waking up to the power of Bitcoin. Guys, your Bitcoin, if you would have had one Bitcoin for 10 years and you didn't touch your Bitcoin for 10 years, it would currently be worth, let me check the current price of Bitcoin. It would currently be worth, let's have a look. The current price of Bitcoin as of today is $9,300. The current price of Bitcoin is $9,300. Back 10 years ago, it was 1 cent a coin. You see, this thing is growing drastically. But why is it growing so much? It's growing because this is a printing what we call an S curve. An S curve. Because this is the first time, family, I really want you guys to understand this. Please do not let this go over your head. And if you guys have any questions at any point, feel free to put them in the chat box. But the reason it's so powerful is because this is the first time in human history that you can own a piece of technology that has a US dollar price tag attached to it. Now, what do I mean? I know I just slated the US dollar, but I know it's a scam, but we can use it because people think it has value. So check this. This is the first time a technology, an emerging technology that actually has use case can be owned and you can profit off it. What do I mean? Let's look at telephone, TV, video games. See this graph here? It's showing you on the bottom axis, obviously time. And on the up axis, it's showing you the adoption rate. Meaning what? Meaning over time, more and more people started to adopt these different technologies, from telephone, electricity, TV. Look, I remember my first phone. My first phone was one of them little trap phones. It wasn't even, it didn't have internet. And I got a BlackBerry. When I got a BlackBerry, I was gassed. I was like, oh yeah, BBM me, yeah, come babes, BBM me, give me your pin. But anyway, then we went to the iPhone. Now everyone's got an iPhone, everyone's got an Android. If you got a BlackBerry, like no one even knows what that is. So this is the thing. Technology is evolving every single day. So is money. You see, money is getting outdated. Fiat currency is very outdated. So this is the first time. Now, what I want you guys to understand, look at all these technologies. They've been around for over 100+ years. Now, cryptocurrency has only been around 10 years. 10 years, guys. This thing is so new. We are in the early adoption stage. So when you actually start looking at the chart, you realize the chart is just printing an S curve. This chart is a little bit old, but we're going to get into an updated chart soon. Now, for example, when we look at the chart, let's look at BLX. Cool. Now, when you look at this on a higher time frame, all you're going to see is since it's come out, since it's been charted, it's been on a consistent uptrend. Why? Because you're seeing the growth of a technology. As the network is growing, this network is growing every single day. And as the network grows, what does that mean? More money is coming into the space. I want you guys to understand that the more money in the space determines the value of crypto. So as more people are understanding the use case, the power of it, what are they doing? They're turning their pounds into Bitcoin. Meaning what? More money is now entering the space. Meaning what? The price of Bitcoin is rallying. For example, if I show you on this website here, This is called coin market cap. This shows you all the other cryptocurrencies in the world. Now, there are currently over 5,500 cryptos in the world, but we're going to speak about that in a second. Now, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the #1 cryptocurrency in the world. Now, what actually makes Bitcoin have this price? Guys, the reason Bitcoin is currently worth $9,000, the reason why Bitcoin is the highest performing asset class of all time, family, Bitcoin is up over 65,500% in the last decade. 65,000%. 65,000%. Yo, let me get some sevens for 65,000% because 65,000% is a lot of money. You see, we're talking about Netflix. Netflix only rallied. Wait, do I even have this on my, do I have that on my slides? No, I don't. But guys, Netflix stock is only up around 3,500%. This is up 65,000%. This is one of the highest performing asset classes of all time. Now, look at this. So we have the total market cap of Bitcoin. 172,596. Yeah, and obviously, yeah, you see the market cap there, right? Now, check this. There is a circulating supply of Bitcoin. There is only 18 million and almost 18.5 million Bitcoins in circulation right now. And there will only ever be 21 million. You will never get 20 million and one Bitcoins. There can only be 21 million only. Now check this. If we do some quick maths, if we get the total market cap 172,598,513,603, and we divide that by the circulating supply 18,401,518, and we divide that by the circulating supply, check this. The total market cap, so all of the money in the space of Bitcoin, you divide that by how many Bitcoins there are, that gives you the current price of Bitcoin. Meaning what? Meaning as more attention comes to Bitcoin, the price is going to rise. That's why we're printing an S-curve, because the space is getting more attention. Yo, Starbucks now accept cryptocurrency. You can go buy a vanilla latte with Bitcoin. You can go, Samsung are coming out of a Bitcoin wallet. Yo, in the US government right now, they're trying to pass a bill where they're digitalizing the US dollar. They're trying to pass a bill where they're going to get rid of the US dollar. Now, the world is changing. It's changing so much. Now, this is not something to be scared of. This is something to embrace. You really want to embrace this whole thing. Now, again, we're going to get into, why all the charts and stuff in a little bit, but I want to get really behind the fundamentals of crypto so you actually understand the different ways you can capitalize from this market. Now, cool. Now let's get back to the information. Now, guys, I want you to understand is different types of cryptocurrency, because a lot of people try and invest in cryptocurrency. And cool, you can invest in crypto. It's very, very lucrative. Don't get me wrong, but you need to understand what you're investing in. You see people come on, this CoinMarketCap website, see 5,000 cryptocurrencies. They're like, all right, cool. Okay, no, Bitcoin's too expensive, right? 9K. Ah, what's this? Tether. Number 3, it's $1 a coin. Oh my God, let me invest in Tether. This thing's cheap. Let me go buy Tether. Little do they know, Tether is what we call a stable coin. You see, a stable coin is in its name. It's stable. Meaning what? Meaning this is backed by the US dollar. Meaning for every one Tether there will be $1 US backed in a bank account. Now, personally, I don't like Tether because Tether actually got, they're actually under investigation for lying about how much US dollars they have. They actually printed a lot of Tether and said, okay, look, there's loads of US dollars, we have this. And when they got audited, they didn't actually have that money. So I'd stay away from Tether if you're using a stable coin. So why would you want to use a stable coin? A stable coin allows you something like USD coin. This allows you to utilize the technology of cryptocurrency, utilize the blockchain so you have your money nice and safe, but it allows you to keep your money nice and safe. What do I mean? You see, if you invested £10,000 into Bitcoin today, tomorrow, if Bitcoin drops, your £10,000 would drop as well. If it dropped 10%, your 10,000 Bitcoin would also drop 10%. But with USD coin, this is a stable coin. So the value will always remain at $1. So you can put your crypto and you can use these coins. These coins are for the traders. I'm going to share with you guys how you can use these to duplicate your Bitcoin and multiply your cryptocurrency portfolio, which is quite fun, I can't lie. Now, that's one type of crypto, a stable coin. Now, you're going to get another type of crypto, which is called a transactional coin. A transactional coin. So what's a transactional coin? Now, a transactional coin is something like Bitcoin. See, the purpose of this is for transactions. Bitcoin has been created to send money and transfer money between different parties. Now, what's the point of this? This is good because this has a big use case. Meaning what? Meaning because it's getting used for transactions, a lot of people want to use this to pay for things. It's a lot more secure. It gives you the power. There's no central entity. There's no central bank that can say, okay, no, you can't send money. You got to pay tax on this. The government can't look into your Bitcoin wallet. They can't say, oh, you've got 100K in Bitcoin. You have to start paying tax on that. They don't know. This is why I love crypto so much, because the government can't get involved with this. They can't. I'm not a financial advisor. Pay your taxes, but crypto is the way forward. Now, there's another type of cryptocurrency. Again, we're going to be speaking a lot about Bitcoin today, but there's another type of cryptocurrency I want to share you guys with. This is called a functional coin. A perfect example of a functional coin would be Ethereum. Now, what's the functional coin? A functional coin simply serves more than one function, meaning, cool, it has one purpose, which is for payment, but it serves multiple different functions. Let me give you an example. So let's say we wanted to create our own cryptocurrency. Let's say we wanted to create the, I Am Evolution coin. If we want to create the I Am Evolution coin, cool, we got to go, build all the network, do all that stuff. But now, if we want an I Am Evolution coin to have value, to be, $230 a coin, cool, we need to have money in the space. So in order to have money in the space, we need to have a blockchain that allows people to go from US dollars or other cryptos to our coins, right? Now check this. You can use a functional coin such as Ethereum. You can use Ethereum's blockchain. You can use Ethereum's network to build your cryptocurrency on, so that now people can transfer you Ethereum to actually fund your project. So functional coins are very powerful as well, because they got more than one function. Now, when it comes to picking a cryptocurrency to invest with, again, remember there's 4 streams of income within the cryptocurrency world. I'm going to share with you all 4. The first one we're going to speak about is investing. So investing. When it comes to investing in cryptocurrencies, there's a couple questions you're going to want to ask yourself. These 4 questions are very key before you invest in any project, because you hear people saying, yo, come buy Dogecoin. Look at this random coin. Look at Picoin. Look at all these XRP, Ripple. Yo, come buy this coin. This coin's going to be £1 million. Look how cheap it is. Okay, cool, Bob. All right, Bob, what's the use case? What is the purpose of this coin? What problem does it solve? I don't know, bro. It's cheap, Jackie from down the street told me to buy it on Facebook, man. Let me buy it. Shut up, Bob. You don't know what you're talking about. You want to know what the use case is? Guys, they have different use cases. What is the purpose of this coin? What real world problem does it actually solve? For example, let's say you wanted to invest in someone name a cryptocurrency. Someone just drop any cryptocurrency in the chat. Any cryptocurrency. ETH. Ah, perfect. ETH. So what we would do if we was going to invest in ETH, we'd go on Google and type in Ethereum use case. What is the use case of Ethereum? Okay, perfect. Blockchain use case. Okay, blockchain is more. You got to do your research. 5 best use cases of Bitcoin and Ethereum smart contracts. Ethereum is about to blow. I'm telling you, this thing's about to blow. But anyway, what's the use cases? Banking and financial services contracts, ICOs, prediction markets, all this stuff. Obviously, you probably don't know what that means, but that's why you research it. You don't just invest in something you don't understand. Understand what you're investing in. Just because there is a lot of hype in the crypto scene and it will make you a lot of money, but you need to understand what you're getting involved with. Because personally, I'd rather be wrong when Bitcoin goes to 0 rather than being wrong when Bitcoin goes to 100K, 200K. You get it? But you got to understand why you're taking that risk. Now, that's the first question. What is the use case? So the more use cases this has, the more use case your project has, the more application it can have, the more money will get involved with it, the more parties will want to get involved with this cryptocurrency. So that's the first question, the use case. I don't understand Bitcoin Cash exactly. What is this use case? Bitcoin Cash is just a fork of Bitcoin. It's just basically a clone. So someone just got Bitcoin, just cloned it and called it Bitcoin Cash. So yeah, it's the same, pretty much the same as Bitcoin. But that's something you could Google as well, my bro. What's your view on XRP? Oh, don't get me started about XRP, mate. Don't get me started about Ripple. I don't like Ripple. I mean, I own a little bit. Don't get me wrong, but it's because all the cryptos are gonna go up in the future when Bitcoin does. But it's a case of I'm not heavily invested in Bitcoin. In XRP, because why? Because there's not much use case for it. You see, people are like, oh, Ripple's gonna go to the moon, but the whole purpose of Ripple, they want the price to be cheap. Because institutions use Ripple as a means of exchange, and they want it to have a cheap price, so there's cheap transaction fees. And it's not decentralized as well. It's centralized. It's one entity that controls Ripple. The whole purpose of blockchain is to have freedom. It's to not have a big bank or someone who puts you under his thumb and says, no, you can do this. Yo, Bitcoin gives you freedom. You can buy anything with Bitcoin. You can buy maybe illegal things, or you can buy legal things. You can buy your grocery with Bitcoin. You can buy anything, and there's no person that can say, nah, you can't buy this. You have to pay tax on this. Well, obviously pay your taxes, but you know what I mean. Anyway, cool. That's the first use case. Now, the second one is you want to understand the competition. What competition is involved with this project? Are there other people competing with you? Are there other projects that are similar? Are there other companies that are trying to do the same thing? You need to understand the competition. Yeah, Davis, do you know about the Pi mining app? Pi is one of the deadest things ever. Forget Pi. Forget Pi. Forget Picoin. That is the deadest thing. The only reason Picoin is it's just a network marketing company for mining on your phone. It is the deadest thing. People, the commissions are not even worth it. You get like 1p if someone leaves their phone on for like 4 hours. It is terrible. So fundamentals. We went through use cases, competition. The next one is delistings. Delistings. What do I mean by delisting? You have to ask yourself, is this project getting delisted? What do I mean? Let's have a look. Crypto delistings. So if there was a crypto getting delistings, here we go. Look, if there's certain cryptos getting delistings from exchanges, let me find some. Okay, cool. Look, so this exchange IDX. So how do you get a crypto? Exchanges, that's how you get crypto basically. So you can either do over the counter or you can go straight with the miners. Now the miners are the ones who produce it. We're going to speak about mining in a sec, but just know if you want to get a crypto, you can just basically go to like Coinbase, somewhere like that, and buy your crypto. Now, if your coin is getting taken off these exchanges, people won't be able to put money in it. So if people can't put money in your project, why would your project go up in value? Meaning what? If your project's getting delisted from exchanges, you don't invest in that project. However, if your project is getting listed on exchanges, okay, that's a good sign. So if you owned any of these coins, I've never heard of any of these coins, but Horsecoin. Yo, if you own Horsecoin, get rid of Horsecoin in it because it's been delisted. They don't like it. So you want to, okay, look at this, week 17, April, even when that is. But yeah, you can see what coins are getting delisted. Listings, okay, cool. If you own Button Coin, for example, you understand that Button Coin has got listed. Okay, cool. Maybe you want to have a look at that. You want to understand what ones are actually getting listed. What ones are getting taken off the exchange. Big up Horsecoin. Let's go. But yeah, cool. Now that's the third one. Now the final piece of information you need to understand before you invest is partnerships. Partnerships. What companies? What big companies are getting involved? For example, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ripple. Why did I say Ripple? Bitcoin and Ethereum. Samsung are now allowing. They're trying to implement a cryptocurrency wallet on your phone, so you can actually do like Android Pay, I guess it's called that. Android Pay with, see, I'm an iPhone guy. And Android Pay with cryptocurrency. So now you can actually go into stores and do that. Now, if Samsung are saying, yeah, you can use Bitcoin to buy stuff on our phone, that's going to cause a lot of attention. That's basically, if a big company gets involved with Bitcoin, that's putting a spotlight on it and saying, guys, use this. Meaning what? Meaning a lot of money is going to flow into that space. Remember, it's all determined on the money that flows into the space. It's just like stocks. Why will a stock value go up? Because the company is producing more profit, right? So same thing with cryptocurrency. As more money is coming into the space, it has more value. Cool. So that is the basics of fundamentals. If you guys are following with me so far, let me get a 11111 in the chat if y'all are following. Let me get a 222 if a little bit confused. I've got 21, so I don't know what that means. If you're a little bit confused, just understand I was going through these different topics before you invest in crypto, because one stream of income is investing, which again, this is stuff we're going to talk about later. So when it comes to these cryptocurrencies, when you actually buy your coin, this is one of the most important pieces of information. If you remember one thing from this call, you need to remember this. You have to. Now, what's this? Talking too fast. Am I talking too fast or are you listening too slow? I'm joking. But cool. I told you I'm going to speak very quick. So yeah, I told you I'm going to speak very quick. So take notes. So there's a difference between public keys and private keys. Now, what's a public key? What's a private key? Check this. If you have your cryptocurrency stored in Coinbase or any exchange, you are playing yourself big time. Get your coins out of Coinbase now. Yesterday. Too slow. Quick, guys. Why? Because look, when Bitcoin experienced that disgusting drop right here. When Bitcoin dropped, what was it? I missed this sell. I was vexed. I missed this sell. But I sold it on the exchange, but not on MetaTrader 4. But when it dropped 56%, if you had 100K in Bitcoin, you'd only have 44K if you didn't sell your coins. Now check this. When this drop happened, right? When this first initial wave happened, when it dropped 10%, people was getting scared. When people are getting scared, they was going on Coinbase and taking their coins and selling it. What happened is the Coinbase website got overran, so the Coinbase website shut down. So if you had your coins in Coinbase, when Coinbase got shut down, for that time period and we had that fat drop of 50+%, you couldn't have controlled your money. If that would have kept dropping, you would have lost a lot of money. I know a lot of people that lost millions in that whole drop. It was massive, messed up, because they didn't understand the difference between a public and private key. So what's that? So let me tell you guys. So what you want to do, you see, because a crypto is an asset. Asset meaning what? It's a thing, right? It's like digital gold and digital silver, right? I've been investing into physical silver bullions recently. So my physical silver is a thing I can own, right? Same thing with cryptocurrency. You can take your coins and store them, and physically, you can put your coins on an offline wallet, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And you could, let's say in theory, you had like 1 million, 2 million, 1 billion on your wallet. You can take that in your pocket across borders and no government's going to know, because it's a little USB coin, a little USB thing in your pocket. So why? Okay, so what's an offline wallet? You see, there's 2 types of wallets I would recommend you guys getting. The first one is what we call a cold storage wallet. This is called it's like a USB stick. So the one I use is called Trezor. So Trezor wallet. Now this, you can grab this if it's like what, 50 quid. Or you can get a Ledger Nano. I've heard a lot of good things about Ledger. Personally, I have a Trezor. I didn't even know what a Ledger was until I got the Trezor, to be honest with you. But I have Trezor 1, so you can get this. You can store your coins on it, and this is waterproof. This is fireproof. You're gonna get like a private key as well. Now, what's a private key? Let me tell you something. When you have your coins on Coinbase, Coinbase only give you a public key. Now, what's a public key? A public key is, think of it like this. Let's say you had a box, right? You have you have your Bitcoins in this box. Now you can see how much your Bitcoins are worth in the box, but the box is locked. See, the public key allows you to view inside the box, but it doesn't allow you to grab and take control of what's inside the box. You're just looking at the box. But when you have the private key, it allows you to go in, open up the box, and actually take out your coins. So Coinbase don't give you the private keys. They only give you the public keys. So you don't want a public key. If there's no private key, you don't want to store your coins there. So what's the solution? You want to buy an offline wallet. Now, I don't know, obviously everyone's different, financial situations. I know when I first got started, I didn't have a lot of money. So if you guys are in a situation where you don't have a lot of money, utilize something like Exodus. Exodus is a wallet you can download on your computer, and you can get your private keys from there. It's a hot wallet. It's got a built-in exchange. It's actually really sick. But yeah, so just definitely get the Trezor. The Trezor is better. If you're investing into crypto, you want to make sure your asset's safe. So cool, get Trezor. Now, let me check the chat box. I got my IM token. Let's go. What's Revolut? Are they any good? Never heard of it. Are these only for one type of coin though? Yeah. So Ethereum and Trezor, you can store so many different coins. If Exodus as well, you can actually store so many coins. Exodus wallet storage. You can store so many projects on here. It's ridiculous. You can store so many different assets, and you get the private key for every one of them. So you're gonna get, does it say on the website? No, it doesn't. But the beauty of this thing is, if it gets hacked, if your computer shuts down, if you lose your USB stick, you're gonna get your private key. You'll be able to write your private key down and store it in a safe. So if your wallet gets destroyed, no problem. You've got your private key written down, and that's what you want to keep nice and safe. Okay, cool. So we went through this. Okay, now this is the next thing I want to get into. This market is a very emotional market. Meaning what? Guys, this market is very new. It's still heavily manipulated. Now, if you guys are getting value so far from tonight's call, definitely show some love to the Insta. I'll drop it here. Tag me in your story. Show the Evolution some love as well. At I am Evolution. Show Anika some love as well. Anika_Begum. I believe that's your Instagram. If I said it wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, show some love if you guys are getting value so far. Let me check the chat box. Look at that. Bilal's come with the 111s already. He knows the vibes, man. Are you saying you can't access to get your coins in public keys? Well, you can have it, but if anything happens to, let's say you got your money in Coinbase, right? If anything happens to Coinbase, you've lost your crypto. They can just turn around and take your crypto because you don't technically own it. So you want the private key, so you technically own it. Never buy them from a third source, eBay, Amazon. That's correct. That's correct. So when you get these wallets, especially if you're buying the physical wallet, it's going to come with like a security sticker on it. So you want to make sure that the packaging is not opened. Do not get a second-hand one because people could install viruses on it and they can steal your coins. So when you buy it, make sure it comes in a sealed package with a security sticker. There'll be like one of them little shiny stickers. So make sure the shiny sticker is intact. Oh, it's Anika Begum _ My bad, bro. My bad. Yeah, so that show some love if y'all getting the value. What's the minimum you can start with Bitcoin? Like £10? £10? All right, cool. So what we got through. So okay, so anyway, Wall Street cheat sheet. Now I want you guys to understand that this market is very emotional. All markets are run from emotions because it's an emotional market. Now check it. Let me give you guys a tour. So let me draw your attention to the bottom left hand. Disbelief. You see, when Bitcoin was sitting at, let me put on a weekly time frame. When Bitcoin was down here at what was the lowest price? $165 US a coin. When Bitcoin was down here, what was the emotion in the market? The emotion in the market was disbelief. Disbelief. No, that's not disbelief. I before the E. Disbelief. Disbelief. Your market, when the price started to rally from, $160 up until, $200, $300, the emotion in the market was disbelief. No one believed it. But what happened? After the price started to rally, maybe went to a bit more, hope started to come into the market. People are hopeful now. Okay, cool. Maybe recovery is possible. Maybe this market can actually go up now, because you've got to remember, it crashed from what? 1K all the way down to $100. So that's, what percent is that? That's a 86% drawdown right there. So that's 30 right there. So if you had 100K, you basically would only have like 15K if you didn't sell it. But if you would have kept it, you'd have made a lot more. But anyway, it goes to hope. Now, what happens after hope? As the price starts to rally, let me see if I can rewind this chart. I can, even better. Cool. So as the market starts rallying, we're going through hope. We're going through the hope. The emotion in the market is now hope. But what happens when it starts to rally even more? As the price starts to rally, and as more people start getting involved with the space, as more money starts flowing into it, right? This is taking too long. No, we're not going to replay. It's taking way too long. As the emotion goes from hope, what happens next? Now it becomes to optimism. People are starting to get optimistic about the future of Bitcoin. When it goes to 1K, it starts rallying more than gold. When Bitcoin's worth more than gold, the emotion in the market is now optimism. People are feeling optimistic about Bitcoin. When it goes from 2K, let's say, to $5,000 a coin, the emotion is now belief. People are now believing in Bitcoin. Oh my God, this is real. I need to invest into Bitcoin. I need to put some money into this thing. This thing is actually real. We're here, we're in belief. When it goes from 5K, maybe cracks 10K, the emotion switches from belief to thrill. Oh my God, I need to buy more on margin. I'm gonna start telling people about Bitcoin now. What happens when it hits thrill? Your barber starts talking about Bitcoin. You're sitting in a chair, the barber's going, yeah, man, I just bought some Bitcoin. Your taxi driver's like, yeah, I just bought some Bitcoin. Then it goes up to what? From 10K, 11K, 12K, 13K, 14K, 15K, 20K of Bitcoin. Guys, this return on investment would be ridiculous. Now, if you would have started with $100, you'd be at 20 grand by now. So at this point, right, euphoria, you'll be feeling euphoric. Everyone's thinking, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread. What the hell? I'm gonna be a millionaire. No way, this is real. Whoa. This is amazing. Then what happens? What happens after euphoria? This is where all the dumb money comes in, where everyone's chasing the price. Everyone's buying, thinking from a space of emotion. So all these people start buying, what happens? The price takes a little dip. It takes a little dip. Now, that little dip it takes, let me get a little arrow. It goes from 20K, drops down to what? Lowest point, 10K again. Now people are thinking, oh, no, they're getting complacent now. No, it's calm. No, it just went from $100 to complacency. When it goes from $100 to 20K, like, no way, it's going to go back up. It's calm. But what happens now? It starts to drop even lower. As it starts to drop even lower from 10K, also 15K, sorry, let's say, back to 13K, 10K, these levels, the emotion in the market now switches to anxiety. People are like, wait a minute, why am I getting margin calls? This retracement's taking a little bit long. People are getting scared now because all the dumb money who brought Bitcoin here, someone even brought it up here, one idiot. Imagine that. Oh my God. But all these people that brought the market up there, they're now sitting at a loss. They're sitting at, if you brought right at the top, you'd be sitting at a 30-40% loss. You're going to be anxious. If your 100K investment is now down 30K, you'll be like, wait, what? Why are you going to be anxious? And what happens next? The emotion goes into denial. It starts dropping lower. People start getting in denial. No way it's going to go lower even more. No way. And what happens? It keeps dropping down. See, as it starts dropping down from 20K to 6,000, the new emotion in the market now switches to panic. Oh my God, everyone's selling. What? I got to get out of this. Oh my God, no. I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this. Drops even lower. Boom. 4K, 3K. The emotions, capitulation. People are capitulating. Nah, I got to get out of the markets now. Forget this. This thing is dead. Because remember, if you brought in at 20K, you'll be sitting at 75% loss. You'll be like, no. Yo, if you had 100 grand, right? 75K would be gone. 75K would be gone, yo. Oh my God, that's stress right there. Now, what happens next? It goes down to 3K, bottoms out around 90% decrease. The emotion is now anger. People are angry. Who allowed this to happen? Why did Bitcoin drop so low? This is a scam. I knew it was a scam. And now people become depressed. They now enter depression. But what happens after depression? Look at it, it's a cycle. It's this cycle. We get that contraction. After we get the contraction, we get that accumulation phase where things start to expand again. It starts to go up, it starts to recover, and starts to get a lot higher. So what happened then after? We've got that disbelief wave, and it's continuing. Now, what I believe is happening now is, again, we're going to get into that in a second. Let me check in the group. You keep misspelling belief. Okay, you don't have to spell right to make money. Did someone say buy Bitcoin on eBay? No, don't buy Bitcoin on eBay. That's the definition of death. Trust me, bro. Don't buy Bitcoin on eBay. Unless you're buying like a Bitcoin, like a prop one, isn't it? Alright, cool. So that's the emotional market. Now, this emotional market happens on every single time frame. Every single time frame. Even here, there was a little one. You see, for my smart money traders, check this. When Bitcoin was rallying up here, you know, when it was running again at 8K, you know, everyone was literally saying, no, Bitcoin, you know, buy Bitcoin, you know, punch candle. And look what happened. I mean, I don't know if it worked on this broker. On this broker, it missed it by like a pipette. Or if we move it aligned to the open. There we go, boom. And it started rallying. Everyone was getting euphoric again. Everyone was chasing the price. And look what happens after that. It just, let me just delete the replay, it's taking too long. It just drops lower again. So you want to be very careful and understand the emotions of the market. The best way I can judge the emotions of the market is really just checking my DMs. You know, when loads of people are messaging me saying, oh, how do I buy Bitcoin? How do I buy Bitcoin? I'm just thinking, yeah, I need to sell my Bitcoin. I gotta get rid of this thing. But when everyone's getting scared, like, oh, how do I sell Bitcoin? I know it's time to buy. You see, when Bitcoin dropped all the way down here to 3K, I remember I was in uni. Yo, I was in uni. I was so gassed. I was in my lecture. I left my lecture and I just went and bought some Bitcoin. I was gassed in it. I was so gassed because what happened? It recovered. That's when it was fearful. When people are fearful, it's time to be greedy. When people are greedy, it's time to be fearful. When there's blood on the streets, even if it's your own blood, you buy it. Because look what happened after that. It recovered 155%. It recovered 155%. And it's still got a lot more potential to go. So cool, what do we want to cover next? What do we want to cover? Okay, cool, the halving. This is the final thing I'm going to get into before we get into the charts. Then we're going to have a little Q&A. So, cool. Anyway, so this is something called the halving. Now, the halving is pretty much the whole fundamental reason why Bitcoin is pretty much on track to go to 100K. Now, why is that? Because check this. There's something called supply and demand. Now, supply and demand is basically kind of what rules economics. Now, think of it like this. Let's say we compare two brands, you know, Gucci versus Primark. Cool. Gucci and Primark. Let's say you go buy a Gucci leather jacket. A Gucci leather jacket will probably run you about 4K, 5K. Now, cool, you get your Gucci leather jacket, it's 4K, 5K. Not a lot of people can afford that. So they charge the price a lot more. There's less Gucci. The reason people pay so much for Gucci is because they perceive it to be rare, to be exclusive, to be luxury. So people go and spend, you know, thousands of pounds on a coat when you can get a similar coat from Primark. But check it. Why can Primark charge, you know, £20, £30? Because they produce much more. The supply is higher than the demand. That's why the price is so low. But for Gucci, the demand is more higher than the supply. Let's say in Gucci, they make 1,000 of those jackets. They can charge 5K each. But in Primark, they'll make, I don't know, 50,000 jackets and charge £50 each. Yeah. So Gucci, because it's more limited. Now, same thing with Bitcoin. You see, remember we mentioned that there can only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. You see, what happens is every 4 years, there's something actually coded in the Bitcoin. So every 4 years, there's less Bitcoin getting released to the network. So let me know if you guys follow me with this. So in order for a Bitcoin to be created, it needs to be mined. You know, just like physical gold, silver, diamonds, etc. You have to physically, you know, go and mine it, right? Now, don't worry, you don't have to physically go somewhere. But what happens is you get a computer. Now, that computer will basically run and crack a code. Once it cracks the code, you get rewarded with Bitcoin. Now, as time goes on, it gets more difficult to crack the code. So, back, 10 years ago, it was very easy to crack the code. So there was more Bitcoins. There was 50 Bitcoins getting released every 10 or so minutes. So every 10 minutes, if you was mining Bitcoin, there'll be 50 Bitcoins going to the whole network. Now, there is only 6.25 Bitcoins being released every 10 minutes. So the supply is cut down a lot. Now, just because the supply has been cut down, that doesn't mean that the demand goes. No, because the network's still growing. More and more people are getting involved. That's why the price has been rallying. Every time there's a halving, for example, the first halving was actually back here. The first halving was actually back here, back in May 2012. What happened? Drop, rally. The second halving happened around, it was May 2016. Yeah, around May 2016. What happened after the halving? Boom, big rally. Now, when was the last halving? The last halving was actually a couple weeks ago. So we're actually on course for another, well, you guys can see what's been happening. History repeats itself, right? Distribution, accumulation, markup, right? Distributes, accumulates, markup. Distributes, accumulates. You guys know what's happening next. Now, this is where I want to get into exactly kind of how you can make money with this. And yeah, cool. Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Let me check the chat. Binance or Bitrex for the better exchange? I've never used Bitrex. I use Binance. Yeah. So whenever the halving happens, there's a reduction in the number of coins, then goes up. Yeah, in theory. The markup seems to be less % after each halving. Let's have a look. So let's say the first rally from the bottom was 12,000. From here, it was, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it is. It's getting less, bro. It is getting less. It is. But hey, it's still going up. Now, anyway, cool. So what are the 4 different ways you can make money? Now, the first way you can actually make money with this is mining. Now, mining is something I'm not really going to speak about because you need a lot more capital, and I don't know what you guys are doing, so there's no point really speaking about that. It all depends where you're based in the world for it to be cheaper. But yeah, you can look into mining on your own time. But Bitcoin mining, if you want to get involved with that, then you can. Cool. The second way is holding. So what does hold mean? Holding is simple. It's the easiest strategy. So it's just buying it and waiting. So back here, if you would have bought Bitcoin, let's say, cool, you bought Bitcoin when it was at 1K. You just hold it. What happened? You had a drawdown of 86%, but if you held it and you refused to sell it, it actually rallied another, 1,600%. So yeah, so that holding is just basically holding on for dear life, going down with the ship. Now, the next way you can make money is exchange trading. So I love exchange trading because you can do this to accumulate more Bitcoin. Now, let me show you guys how that works. What broker do you use when you trade? So that's what we're going to get into in a minute, bro. So how it kind of works is this. Now, let's say, cool. So let's say when Bitcoin was at 3,200, let's say we caught the bottom and we brought Bitcoin at 3,200. So if we buy Bitcoin at 3,200, what does that actually mean? That means we have 1 Bitcoin and it was worth 3,200. Okay, cool. Now we have 1 Bitcoin. Now remember, you actually brought an asset. Now what happens over time, as Bitcoin starts to rally, you still have your 1 Bitcoin, but it goes from 3,200 to 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, So let's say you brought that 1 Bitcoin and it rallies all the way up there to 14K. So that rally, that was a % increase of, because now we're dealing in percentages. When you're exchange trading, it's not pips, it's not leverage, it's simply %. So you would have made 344%. I remember this move was a naughty move. So 344%. So you still have 1 Bitcoin up here. That doesn't change. But now your 1 Bitcoin is worth 13,850. 13,850. Now, this is where the stable coins come in. So what you would do here is you would simply now exchange your Bitcoin into a stable coin. Exchange into a stable coin. How you would do that? Let me make the text a little bit smaller. You can do that by just going on Exodus, going on Binance, and just trading it for each other. So you'd exchange 1 Bitcoin into stable coin. So you look on, let's say, for example, Coinbase Pro. Don't buy your crypto from Coinbase. Buy it from Coinbase Pro. Is it gonna make me log in again? Let's have a look. Okay, perfect. So Coinbase Pro. Now, Coinbase Pro, let me show you how you do it. So this is the institutional way. You get an order book. You also, it gets less fees as well. So you can see what all the orders are in the market. So let's say it was going on BTC, USDC. So we want to exchange our Bitcoin for stable coins, right? So what we would do, let's say we had one Bitcoin, then one Bitcoin hit 13K. We'd come over here, we'd press sell, and we'd sell our Bitcoin into USDC. So exchanging one Bitcoin into USDC. Now, one USDC is worth $1. So if we have $13,850 worth, we would now have 13,850 USDC. But why would you not put it into pounds or dollars? Because you're gonna have a lot more fees. Plus, this actually allows you to utilize the crypto space. Now, you've got 13,000 stable coins. Now, let's say it drops from, your 13K and it drops all the way back down, boom, 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 all the way down here to, what's this price? 4,000. So Bitcoin drops all the way down to 4,000. Now, if you didn't exchange it back into stable coins, you would still have one Bitcoin, but your one Bitcoin would now be worth 4,000. But what we did, we exchanged it into stable coins. So check this. You've got 13.8K in stable coins. So when Bitcoin's now 4K each, that allows you to buy more Bitcoin because you've got more money to play with now. So if you've got 13,850 Bitcoin dollars and Bitcoin's 4K each, that allows you to now purchase 3.46 Bitcoins, right? So you now have 3.4 Bitcoins. You've just accumulated more Bitcoin. Look what you did. You started off with 1, now you've got 3.4. So if that now rallies to the same price of 13,800, you would now have 47K. You started off with 3 grand, and now you can have 47K. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? What other cryptocurrency would you recommend to invest in? I invest in Tezos, Kyber Network. What else do I invest in? I obviously do the research. I'm not a financial advisor. So this coin, IEXECRLC, Kyber Network. Oh, Kyber's up. I didn't even check Kyber in a minute. How much are we up? Ooh. Hey, we have a little 385%, man. Let's get it. Kyber. We got Tezos as well. Tezos is taking a little dip right now. Tezos is Sitcoin, Bitcoin, XEM coin, Nem coin, Litecoin, IOTA, Ethereum, Bitcoin. No Siri, not for you. What else we got? Neo, Chinese Ethereum, a little bit of Ripple. Yeah, and a lot of silver bars. But yeah, cool. So anyway, like we were saying, right? So you just accumulated more. So if that makes sense, let me know. Do you guys, Siri, does everybody listen? All right, cool. So does that all make sense? Yeah. Let me get a yes or no if that makes sense so far. Now that's just on one big move. Now, can you imagine what we was doing? I was doing this. I've been doing this. Look. So brought down there, sold it at the top, brought back here, sold it up there, brought back here, sold it up there, brought back here, sold it up there, dropped down, brought here, sold it there. So you can keep doing that. If you keep doing that on all these fluctuations, imagine that you sell, you make a 30% gain. You just keep accumulating more Bitcoin. You just keep doing it all these fluctuations. I'm not going to go through more examples, but now you're 3.46 Bitcoin. You start off with 3,200. Current price is now 9,000. Let's say we sold it here. Our 3.46 Bitcoins at 9K each. So let's do some quick maths. 3.46 Bitcoins, 3.46 Bitcoins, and we times that by, let's say it's what? Current price is 9,900. You'd have 34K, right? If you brought down here and you have 34 grand. Now, if you sold it here, you've got 34,000 stable coins. Now, let's say Bitcoin makes its way back down to some of our targets, 5,000 and 2,500 or 3,500. Let's say back there, you've got 34 grand now, and Bitcoin's at 3,400 each. You can now have over 10 Bitcoins. Yeah, I told you, I'm gonna blow your minds. I'm gonna blow your minds today. I'm gonna blow your minds. You still got a target of 3.5. Yes, that's what we're gonna get into in a sec. If you can't afford buying a full share of Bitcoin, for example, would you recommend buying? Yeah, you can buy a partial bit, because the beauty of Bitcoin is even if you buy £10, you're still going to get that same return on investment percent. So if you would have bought £10, 3K, you would have made 340% on £10. Someone's like, oh my God. Bitcoin for 7.2K, then moon, back to the ozone layer, then to the sun. Let's go. All right, cool. So that's the first way you can make money, exchange trading. That's one of my favorites. The next way is margin trading. So I want you guys to screenshot the lot size calculator thing down here, because Bitcoin is slightly different. So every dollar Bitcoin moves is equivalent to 1 pip if you're trading with Hugo's Way. So whoever asked about the question, what broker do I trade Bitcoin with, is Hugo's Way. I wouldn't trade it with IC Markets because the contract size is too low and it's shut on weekends. So Hugo's Way is what I use for that. Now per 0.01. So what micro lot you use, if you use a micro lot, 0.01, every pip it moves, that will be equivalent to $1.25 to about $1.35. Ethereum, for every 0.01, yo Siri, shush. For every 0.01 lot size you drop for every pip it moves with Ethereum, that's about 45 to 50 cents. Litecoin 25 to 30, and Ripple 75 to 80 cents. So cool. So obviously, let's say if you got a 50 pip stop loss on Bitcoin and you're using 0.01, that's £5. Manage your risk accordingly. Cool. So let me actually kind of get into the current price of Bitcoin and what I actually believe is happening right now. So yeah, let's kind of just mark this up. Did I miss? Okay, cool. Anyway, so let's kind of mark this up from scratch. So first things first, what I actually do when I look at Bitcoin, the first chart I pay attention to, I don't pay attention to any of these charts. I look at this chart here. This is called the CME futures chart. Now this chart, when Bitcoin was rallying all the way up to 13K, there was gaps all the way down here. Everyone was getting chased, falling for the hype. It was like, yeah, 7.2K Bitcoin. Everyone was like, no way, it's impossible, and it happened. So I'm calling a $3,500 Bitcoin. Now, with my chest, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Yeah. So what's a gap? Now let me show you guys the power of this chart. Now this is by the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Now the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, what they actually did, they're the big money moves in the market. The CME group, these are big money moves in Forex now and futures. What they did, check this. CME group self-certifies Bitcoin futures to launch on December 18th. December 18th. What that allowed you to do was go on MetaTrader 4 and sell Bitcoin. Now, check this. Remember this date. 18th of December. 18th of December. Everyone remember this date. Put it in the chat box if you remember. 18th of December. Just don't put it in the chat box so y'all remember. So y'all know I'm not lying. 18th of December. 18th of December, right? Check this. 2017. This chart opened up on the 18th of December 2017. And what was Bitcoin on? 20K. How convenient is it that the second these people who are known for manipulating the market opened their chart, Bitcoin went from 20K all the way down to 3K. How convenient. How convenient that happened. Now let me show you something. Because these are the big boy money movers, what they do is they create gaps in the market, because Bitcoin is open 7 days a week. This chart is obviously only, and their charts, their data feeds are only open 5 days a week. So obviously crypto moves on the weekend. Meaning what? Meaning there's going to be gaps created on the chart. For example here, can you guys see how there's this big gap? This gap was caused by, on Friday, the market shut, and then obviously Bitcoin moved over, Saturday, Sunday, popped up. And then what happened? Obviously the market opened. Thus there was a gap created. Now that gap, guys, gaps, think of a gap like a hole in the boat. If there's a hole in the boat, if you're sailing, right, you got a hole in your boat, you want to come and make sure there's no more holes in your boat. So same thing with the chart. Every gap gets closed. 99% of gaps get closed. Gap to the upside, look at this. Gap to the upside, boom, comes back down to fill the gap. Okay, cool. It gapped here as well. Look at this open space where there was no candles. Gaps to the upside, comes back down to fill the gap. We can show some more examples, Gaps here. They created this big open space to the downside, and it reverses back up to come and fill that gap. We can look at this all day. Now check this. There is a gap at almost 12,000, has still open. There was also a gap, the gaps down here we was eyeing up, which was this gap here. Let me make it purple. there was this gap at 7,300, which we were screaming for ages. If y'all remember my crypto calls from a couple months back, you would know I was screaming this level. Look what happened. Boom. Comes down, fills the gap, accumulates, rallies. Anyway, what happened now? There is still another gap, family. There is still another gap down here at $3,570. There is still a gap here. I'm no financial advisor, but history does tend to repeat itself. So that's interesting there. That's very interesting. We've got a $3,400 Bitcoin. Now, what I'm thinking is, for my institutional traders, you already know what's good. It looks like we're getting this little schematic that's forming. Plus, there's another gap at 7,600, 8,800. So this has just given us confluence now. For those, we got those free drives again. If you're new to trading, don't worry about this. Basically, there's something called, like, the market goes through different phases, right? So the first phase is where you get, you get that accumulation phase. So the market will kind of move like this. All right, shout out Mohammed for sending me these. So you get this, you get these accumulation phase. So they kind of accumulate orders, boom, the market goes up, reaccumulates, boom, goes up. Now they distribute, so they start taking their money at the market, boom, rallies, take more money at the market, boom, and goes so on and so forth. So it now prints it in a certain way. Now the certain way it prints it will look something like this. So if you've never seen this before, print screen this and study this. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. 3, 2, 1, and also this one as well. Study this one. Now that's for distribution, and then you've got the same one for accumulation, but this is slightly different. So anyway, so this is kind of what we're seeing on the chart right now. So, come back. Look what we're getting. We're getting that schematic occur. We're getting a very similar buying climax, automatic reaction, up thrust, sign of weakness, up thrust after distribution. Now we're getting those last points of supply. So now we got that change in character here. So when basically there was a change in the market, it's called a change of character. There's a change of character because we created a new structure low. There was a change of character in the market. That shows you that the footprint is clues, followed by a big upthrust, followed by upthrust after distribution, shaking everyone out, enticing everyone to buy Bitcoin. Look at the numbers hitting around 10,000. See, when it hit over 10,000, everyone was screaming and buying Bitcoin. I was like, yeah, I'm selling this thing now. I'm selling this thing right now. And yeah, and it's literally, it looks like it's about to continue to go a lot lower. Plus, there's a little bit of imbalance down here as well. So, it's looking very, very ripe to come a lot lower. I could be wrong. It could, nothing's saying that Bitcoin could just completely rally from here. But, we are still technically in a little downtrend, and that gap is still open. And every other gap on this chart has actually been closed. Every other gap, apart from obviously somewhere like the one up here at 20K. But yeah, so that kind of shows us that. So if we start looking into like the actual chart of Bitcoin, and then yeah, so Coinbase chart. So obviously we've got these equal highs that have been manipulated. So if you guys, basically like for new people. This is basically a level of quote unquote resistance level in the market, right? So a lot of dumb money. So, people who go on Google and say, Forex chart patterns, how do I change? Basically, retail trading is pretty much a scam. It's false information they give you. So they tell you, look, double top. Look at this. It gives you a stop loss and entry point and take profit. Look, this market is, you make so much money in these markets. It wouldn't be that easy to just go on Google and look at photos. So what people do is they see this pattern here. They see, double top in the market. Okay, look at this triple top. Oh my God, let's sell. Let's sell the market, right? Let's sell. Stop loss just above here. Oh yeah, let's take profit. Look how much money we're gonna make. And look what happens. Wait for it. Wait for it. Boom, clapped. They get slapped out of the position. Slapped out of the position. So that happened. I mean, there are still equal highs higher. So Bitcoin does have a lot of targets to come higher. So it's still right to go up in the long run. End of the year, I expect all-time highs to be, if not broken, but very close. So we've got that liquidity there that still needs to be captured. Starting to look on the chart now. Again, we've kind of got that schematic forming. Those free drives. 1, 2, 3. Getting those schematic forming. So now, if we want to kind of take short positions, plus there's an inefficiency in price here. Again, if some of you get a little bit confused or overwhelmed, again, like I've been trading for a while now, so like this is a bit more advanced method of analysis. And you obviously guys learn this by watching Go Live, watching the howdoitrade.com course, howdoitrade.com/2020 course. Yeah, you can call it liquidity. How will the release of China's digital currency affect the market? The Facebook digital currency. Yeah, I mean, it'll put a lot more light on it. You know, JP Morgan are coming out with a coin as well, so that honestly put more demand on other projects, to be honest. But yeah, but anyway, so cool. We got this imbalance down here as well. It needs to be filled. Obviously, we spoke about the gaps. So now I guess if we want to start looking lower, what happened here? Price reacted off this candle here. Common, interesting. Let's see where it reacted from. Probably on a different data feed. It probably reacted off an institutional candle of some sort. But anyway, so it looks like we're starting to break down now. So honestly, I'd expect Bitcoin to kind of probably keep melting off from here. What could we do to get some sells? It all depends where this candle closes. If this 4-hour candle in 50 minutes closes below here, say goodnight to Bitcoin. So if it closes below 9,400, let's say, if it closes below there, this thing's about to go a lot lower. Or even the daily as well. The daily, oh my God, if the daily closes below 9,400, yeah, this thing is toast. So what we could do, we could potentially look for some setups. Let's have a look at some shorts. Will they let it come back up here? Let's find out. So we've got 2 points of interest. Now let's fib this bad boy up and let's see. Okay, it gives us that premium price. Now I'm just going to try to look on some candle to find the highest volume candlestick. Okay, 12-hour candle, little buy before you sell, and it took out equal highs. Very nice, very, very nice. So we could have some nice shorts coming up for Bitcoin. So these are not signals, these are educational ideas. So more time, the 50% of that imbalance, the top one. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's tighten this up a little bit. Let's do some investigating. Let's look at our little indicator, fixed range. Don't worry, we're not using stochastic. Come on. Bet. Boom. Cool. Let's have a look. Is there true imbalance? Okay, so what I'm doing now, family, is I'm looking at the orders in the market. So the market moves because of an imbalance of price. In order for the market to go up, there needs to be more people buying than selling. There needs to be more people buying the market than selling. So what happens is here, there was 0 buy orders. You see where it says 0, 0, 0? There was 0 buy orders in the market. Now the market wants to remain equal. It wants to remain in equilibrium. So in this area here, there was 0 buy orders in the market, only sellers. So the market is now likely to come back up to here to fill the hole in the boat. Now, this could give us confluence with an entry point for a short. Now, again, we're gonna scale in a little bit lower to find a bit more accurate, an accurate zone or some sort of punch candle that we can take some sells from. So what I'm doing now is I'm just scaling through the different time frames to find an entry point. So we've got this little punch candle here. Well, open 50%. So how big would the stop loss be on this? If you got in on the open, geez, come back. Whoa, come here. So you're looking at about a 23 pip. Yeah, about a 23 pip stop loss. For Bitcoin, that's very good. The spread is about 20 pips anyway. So let's say 24, let's say 25 pip stop just to be safe. And then your TPs, if we get enough there, your TPs can be we had that gap at 8,000, right? It was 8,000 8,840 TP1, 8,000, it was 8,850, let's say 8,850, 8,850. So that would be TP1. Is there a balance down there? And there is. Very nice. So that would be TP1. TP1 giving you a 1 to 39. TP2 would be 7,600. 7,600. Let's just say here. So that will give you a 1 to 80, and then we got obviously TP3, the imbalance, 50%, 1 to 166, and if we finally target that gap all the way down there at 3,500, that's a 1 to 224. Meaning what? If you risk 1%, you make 224% on that trade. You risk £1, you make 224. You risk 100 grand, you make. The numbers are too big. The numbers are too big for my head right now. Too big for my head right now. I'm not Wale yet. But yeah, that's Bitcoin. I mean, it could definitely react from this inefficiency here. But personally, I'd rather it come up. Why? To mitigate these orders. I'm gonna give you the quick lesson on smart money, and then we're gonna actually have. Actually, no, I'm not, because it's a crypto call. If you want to learn that, you go on howdoitrade.com/2020 course. So yeah. That's gonna be a crazy setup, man. I'm gonna if I miss this setup, I'm gonna punch myself. Like, I missed this drop here. Where is it? I got this on the exchange, but I missed this drop here on MetaTrader. It was like by 1 pip. I wanted to. You don't understand how vexed I was. But anyway, yeah, cool. This is the setup we're looking at for Bitcoin, but it all depends on the closure. It all depends on the daily closure. So I want to see a daily closure below 9,420. I want to see a daily closure below 9,420. I don't get that. The setup is invalid. That's what invalidates. That's what validates the setup. If that happens, I mean, it could react off here, but to be honest, I feel like it could still come up more for that imbalance, and that little order block, or whatever you want to call it, punch candle, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we can even get a little bit more precise on this. It's still the 30-minute, so let's get a little bit more precise. 20-minute time frame. Nope. 50-minute time frame. Yeah, we can get more precise on that. But let's have a look. 10-minute time frame. Give me a punch. Give me a punch candle. Give me a punch candle. Give me a punch candle. Where is it? Oh, it was there. I missed it. Okay, so now, is there any imbalance there? There is. Okay, cool. So it might even revisit that. Sheesh. No, that's just taking the piss. If you ended off that, oh my god. Yo, if you ended off that's like that. I'm gonna end up here and it with a bigger stop, because I'm not gonna be that greedy. But if you ended off that, oh my god, this trade would be I don't even know what risk reward that would be. Oh, no way! I don't even know if that's possible. 1 to 1,000, no way if that's even possible. No, I don't even know. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. If that actually plays out at 1 to 1,000, like that's like unheard of in trading. Like I don't know what if this plays out. Oh my god, I'm gonna screenshot this right now, because if this plays out, because remember, trading is a game of probabilities. There's no 100% certainty. But yeah, it's all what happens on this daily candlestick. If the daily candlestick closes below 9,420, we're gonna scale in for those entry points. We're gonna start off looking for the entry point on the 30-minute punch. Yeah, it was the 30-minute punch. So we have 2 entry points. So here's entry point 1. I've messed that up already. 1 to 1,000, bro. I might just risk 100% on this. I'm going to open a new account and just over leverage it just for that trade, just for the fun of it, bro. Just for the fun. Yeah, if you had £100, yeah, and you risked all of it, you'd have a lot of money off that trade. But yeah, cool. So ideally, I'd be executing off the 30-minute punch. More time, either the open than the 50%. But even if you got enough to open, you know, that's still a 24 pip stop. So yeah, in 50%, that's 15. So yeah, we know it's some big boy trades aligning. So let me set some alerts for this, and we're in replay mode. But yeah, so it's kind of what happens now. So yeah, any questions? Let's do a little Q&A for 10 minutes, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, that's a mad setup right there, man. Like So any of my institutional traders, you're probably thinking, what? Oh my God, man. Yeah, bro. 1 to 1,000. Let's go, man. What 1 to 1,000 right there. 1 to 1,000. If anyone's got any questions about crypto, anything, now is definitely the time to ask. If not, we will call it a day. But yeah, yo, that little inefficiency in price looks juicy. Ooh, there is an efficiency a little bit higher. So it could very well react up there. Higher time frame though. I mean, the higher time frame, there's not really much imbalance on the higher time frame because all the other stuff has been kind of taken care of. But let's see how it plays out. Wait, is there efficiency up there? Oh, there is. So, okay, we've got 2 points of interest. We've either got this one or we've got this one. Either ways, I'm still happy to put risk on both of these trades, 0.5% each. And yeah, let's see what happens. But I mean, that'll be very high. Let's see what happens. Let's see. So there are 2 points of interest. A bit more in favor in the lower one because of the high time frame analysis. But yeah, let's take a look. Let's see what happens. So yeah, Davis, where were you created? You have such. How much do you charge for lessons, bruv? £1 million each minute that passes. Do you teach? Yeah, you. Yeah, I do, bro. I'm gonna get on Go Live soon. Probably by the end of the year. I got some other things. I gotta hit Chairman first. Chairman first, then Go Live. Where were you created? I was like, bro, it's Peckham made, man. 101, man. But yeah, cool. If anyone got any questions about trading, if not, we're gonna call it a day. If you guys are not in my Telegram, definitely join my Telegram channel now. Where is it? I'll put it in the chat. t.me/IK Davis. We put some we put stuff in there. But yeah, if y'all want to make some money, then that's not a signal, but that's a juicy setup. That 1 to 1,000 plays out. Oh mate. Yeah, mate. Let's see. But yeah, I'm glad y'all got value. If there's no more questions about anything, then we can definitely call it a day. Definitely, if you got value from that, to show some love to my Instagram. I'll put it on screen now. I'll put my Telegram on there. Where's the text box? But yeah, man, it's been a crazy call, man. A crazy call. So we've got my Insta, IK Davis. So I for India, K for Kieran, D for Delta, blah blah blah. At I Am Evolution. Show some love to the movement. We'll be doing a giveaway very soon at 500 followers. Evolution, and then we've got Anika at Anika, our lovely host. __ I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Cool. What Go Live educator do you watch that applies on institutional? So on institutional based trading, when it comes to that, you don't want to watch the 2020 How Do I Trade course. So I'll put that in the chat box now. So you don't want to watch this. Obviously, you need an active IM membership to access that. If you want to learn smart money, you've got who do we have? If you want to learn crypto, if you want to learn just crypto, not smart money, they're a little bit retail trading, but they still have the source. Curtis Cobain, he teaches a lot of supply and demand as well. He's a sick trader. It's very similar to smart money, Crypto Picasso. But for smart money traders specifically, you've got a lot of them. You've got the whole trade house. So you've got a lot of options when it comes to that. So you've got, let's have a look. So you've got Steady. You've got the Steady Gang. Steady Gang is sick. If you haven't watched John Dollery's course, don't play yourself. Watch the John Dollery course. John Dollery's course is sick. You just come down to his favorite sessions. Watch that lesson 1, mapping market trends, work your way through that. Lex Waves as well. I love to watch Lex Waves every day, 1 p.m. We've got obviously the Steady Gang. Then when it comes to like hardcore institutional based stuff, you've got obviously Zachary Hogan, Jordan Morgan. How you can access them is Forex, not the harmonics. You've got Forex Advanced. Where is it? Forex Advanced. You've got where is he? So we've got Sandy. I don't like him personally. We've got Zach McDonald. He's sick. Mike Neverate. I haven't really watched him too much. Rock is sick. Zachary Hogan, Jordan Morgan, sick. We've got Mr. No Stop Loss Bass. Don't watch him. Don't watch him. But yeah, I mean, you can. All the educators say, look, guys, when it comes to it, yeah, the strategy doesn't matter. All the strategies work. Even if you're doing break and retest, you know, like it works. Institutional trading is pretty much break and retest, if you ask me. But it's just about if you work, because if you're not being profitable, whatever strategy you're using, it doesn't matter if you go into institutional or not, because the problem is not the strategy, the problem is you. So in order to solve that, what I'd recommend is to sort out your psychology. Is Mike Miles, every Sunday he does a session on psychology, where he speaks about, rather than trading, he speaks about developing the trader. Because a lot of people focus on their trading, looking at charts, trading, but they fail to develop being a better trader, because the trader is the one who executes the trades. So his Monday sessions are sick. It's like Monday morning for UK, Sunday night for America. 6 sessions just to listen to, you know, whilst you're working out. But yeah, that's it for institutional based trading, really. So like just Trade House, just anyone in the Trade House. Start with Zach McDonald. You got Bounce Back Live. Start with the How Do I Trade 2020 course, and then work your way through there. You've got Bounce Back, who are live every day at 2 p.m. where the Trade House go live. They give out live setups. How you access that, Bounce Back. If you haven't got Bounce Back, get your Elite Pack, and then or add it on. It's like $20. It pays for itself, and you got, obviously these guys are live every day at 2 p.m. But yeah, if there's no more questions, we're gonna call it a day. If y'all got value, then definitely show some love on the IG, to the Evolution, to Anika's as well for bringing me onto this call. But yeah, if y'all got some value, let me get some ones in the chat, some 111s. If y'all are excited, because I'm gonna go eat now. I haven't eaten today. But yeah, hey, let's go, man. Let's go. So with that being said, thank you so much, everyone, for actually taking the time. I'm gonna stop the recording there. So